माफी चाहता हूं, आपको रोक रहा हूं। इस समय वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमण राज्यसभा में अपने संबोधन दे रही हैं। आइए चलते सीधे राज्यसभा।
But broadly, keeping in line with the vote on account budget which was passed in February, the budget of 2024 presented on July 23rd, 2024 highlights and continues the feature that capital expenditure will be sustained, as was indicated earlier, at 11.11 lakh crores. And this will include 1.50 lakh crores, which will be given as capital assistance for the states, financial assistance to the states for capital expenditure, which is interest-free for 50 years. So actually 11 lakh crore itself is a big number, but if we look at the effective capital expenditure, that is, when our capital expenditure and also the money given to the state as grant and aid for creating capital assets, in our accounts it doesn't get counted as capital, whereas in the states it gets counted as capital. So if I were to look at both the capital assets, therefore, effective capital expenditure can be pegged at 15.02 lakh crores or 18% over 23-24. So we are continuously, since after COVID, emphasizing and spending higher and higher amounts in capital expenditure, partly answers the questions which was raised by Jairam Ramesh later. I have 4 issues, you answer on them. One of this, he probably implicitly agreed that this is one engine which is anyway happening. But that engine is happening in full throttle. And as a result of which, it has a bearing on the private investment, on consumption, and in a way also helps in pumping exports. So this one big engine consistently between 2020 and today, increasing more and more amounts, actual growth between one year and the other is also on a higher graph. So it is important that we've recognized that in an economy which is COVID affected, and that in an economy which requires to stand on its own, considering the global challenges which are mounting each year. Since after COVID, you had one war, then a second war, and both the wars have not abated. Then you have a problem in the Red Sea. Then you also have a problem of the global currency markets, and also the Japanese carry trade business, which has affected the trust in the global markets and so on. All of this are growing in the number of challenges that India has to face. We can always say global challenge and leave it at that. But each one of the challenge has an impact on India. And despite that, since after COVID, with this emphasis given on capital expenditure, whose multiplier effect, whose traction is so much in the economy, which is an established theory that you spend on capital and you reap the benefit of sustained growth. Whereas if you spend on revenue, you don't get that kind of a return. That is what is the multiplier effect. And that multiplier effect has sustained India as a fastest growing economy continuously since after COVID. And we shall be the fastest growing economy even this year. And that's not just me saying, global observers have said. So this route that Prime Minister Modi has clearly identified has one of the very tested, fine route for countries like India is standing by us in not only meeting domestic challenge of reviving the economy after COVID, but meeting the global increasing number of challenges. So I want to clearly place emphasis on this. And in that, we are not doing it all on our own. We are making states also take up capital expenditure by giving them interest-free 50-year loans, which eventually will be treated probably as grants only. So states are now being able to strengthen their capital expenditure, and many states are completing long pending projects or taking up newer projects, as a result of which economy around it is getting enough traction. So I want to, while saying that, I also want to clearly put on record that the total resources proposed for transfer to states in 24-25 is estimated to be 22.91 lakh crores. It entails an increase of about 2.49 lakh crores over 23-24. So there is an increase between last year and this year, and this is the range at which we are devolving resources to the states. Similarly, outlays for all union territories have increased from 61,118 crore last year to 68,660 crore this year. This is for all the UTs for this year. So I've also announced a slew of measures aimed at adding employment, because employment intensity to India's growth story is a very critical component, and through renewed impetus being given to manufacturing sector. I had detailed the various steps that we had taken for supporting manufacturing sector, but very clearly the manufacturing sector and its contribution, which I'll explain in a minute more, proves that these policies that we have taken up to support manufacturing is actually paying good rewards. So overall, the aim is at boosting domestic employment opportunities, ensuring high and sustainable growth in India's share to the global GDP over the next 5 years. There were a lot of concerns expressed even when we were discussing the budget speech, general discussions, about have you cut down on resources being given to the social sector? I would want to take this opportunity once again. I did it last time, I'll say it now as well. I seek your permission for it, sir. Agriculture and allied sectors. We have not cut down, on the contrary, more is being given. 1.44 lakh crores was the allocation last year. This time it's gone to 1.52 lakh crores, 8,000 crore more than the last year. And 1.22 lakh crore more than the BE of 13-14. Education, employment and skilling, very important sector, sir. 85,000 crore was the allocation in 2013-14. Last year it was 1.20 lakh crore. This year it is 1.48 lakh crores. So 23% more allocation, that is 28,000 crores more than the last year. Women and child girls. I did hear quite a few honorable members speak saying allocation for women is not substantial. I'm afraid not, sir. It is substantial. 96,000 crore it was in 2013-14. Last year it was 2.31 lakh crore. This year it is 3.27 lakh crores. 41% more allocation, or 96,000 crores more than last year. So rural development, including infrastructure, had 87,000 crores in 2013-14, whereas last year it had 2.38 lakh crores. This year it is 2.66 lakh crore, 11.7% more allocation, that is 28,000 crore more than the last year. Urban development, sir, which is important for many of the cities which expect to grow because the population is also growing in them. 12,000 crores was the amount in 2013-14. In 23-24, 76,000 crore. Now it has gone up to 83,000 crore, 7,000 crore more than the last year. Health and social welfare, sir, on which a lot of members have expressed concern. 72,000 crores it was in 2013-14. It was in the last year 1.43 lakh crores. Now it's gone to 1.46 lakh crore, 3,000 crore more than last year. So in a nutshell, the union budget this year balances several overriding imperatives: growth, employment, welfare spending, capital investments, and fiscal consolidation. We've tried to balance all these without compromising on any one sector, and I'm glad to say, eventually, even on fiscal consolidation, we've kept our word up, the word given in 21, that there will be a glide path for fiscal deficit management, and that has been kept up. We have kept the word, and therefore the balancing of these very...
Honorable members, it is now 6 p.m. If the House so agrees, we may sit beyond 6 p.m. today till disposal of the appropriation bills and the Finance Bill number 2, Bill 2024, and special mentions. Do I have leave of the House to extend the sitting beyond 6 p.m.? Honorable Finance Minister, please continue.
Thank you, sir. So we've tried balancing all these overriding imperatives, and I think if honorable members would recognize that given our constraints, we have tried maintaining the balance, and we've, I would think, succeeded in maintaining that balance. Sir, the creation of the internship opportunities that we've brought in for first-time job seekers and the skill development, I would think very critical this year, leading towards the first few steps leading towards Vikasit Bharat in 2047. Sir, augmentation of the social sector spending with a thrust on human development and comprehensive social security, particularly for...
तो ये थी वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमन जो वित्त विधेयक 2024 पर राज्यसभा में जवाब दे रही थी, और उन्होंने पूरे देश और सदन को ये भरोसा दिलाया कि भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था एक बढ़ती हुई अर्थव्यवस्था है। तो फिलहाल इस बुलेटिन में इतना ही। देखते रहिए डीडी न्यूज़।